You didn't embarrass yourself, but your brain decided you did. And in 10 seconds, it starts building a case against you. Your tone, your expression, that tiny pause. And you replay it like evidence. You think it's harmless. It's not, because this is how it begins. First, you replay what you said. Then you start filtering what you say. Then slowly, you show up smaller in rooms. And you won't even realize when it happens. Why your brain does this, why it feels so convincing, and how this 10-second habit quietly reshapes your personality. Stay till the end. Because the real problem isn't embarrassment. It's who you become trying to avoid it. What's actually happening right after you speak? Your brain switches roles. It stops being social. It becomes a prosecutor. It replays the moment like evidence. Your tone, your timing, that micro-expression. And it starts building a case. Too loud, too awkward, too much. You think you're just reflecting. You're not. You're interrogating yourself. And the longer you replay it, the more convincing the story becomes. Not because it's true, but because repetition feels like proof. And this is where most people lose control. Because once your brain decides something was wrong, it starts preparing for the next time. Why this feels so real? There are 3 reasons this hits so hard, and they build on each other. 1. Your brain treats image like survival. Status equals safety. Belonging equals protection. So even a tiny threat to how you're seen feels bigger than it is. Your nervous system doesn't know you're just at a party. It reacts like something important is at stake. But that alone wouldn't create this spiral. Here's what amplifies it. 2. You experience yourself from the inside. You feel your hesitation. You hear the tremor in your voice. You notice every tiny shift. But other people don't experience you that way. They don't feel your internal noise. They only see a surface version. You're reacting to internal sensation. They only saw behavior. That gap creates distortion. But the real driver is deeper. 3. You're not protecting the moment. You're protecting your identity. You have a version of yourself you're trying to maintain. Confident, sharp, composed. And when your behavior doesn't perfectly match that image, your brain panics. Not because you failed, but because your identity feels unstable. And unstable identity triggers review. Review becomes habit. Habit becomes personality. This is where it stops being about one sentence. You don't fix this by calming down. You fix it by disrupting the pattern. First, catch the prosecution. When your brain starts replaying, say this internally. Case dismissed. Don't argue with it. Dismiss it. Second, separate feeling from fact. Ask, what actual consequence happened? Did the conversation stop? Did someone react negatively? Did anything objectively shift? If not, your brain is filling gaps. Third, stop overcorrecting. If you edit yourself too much next time, you reinforce the fear. Speak. Leave it. Move on. Confidence is built by surviving imperfection, not eliminating it. But here's the part people don't like. If you don't interrupt this cycle, you won't just replay moments. You'll start filtering your personality. And that's when you slowly become smaller. So here's the truth. That 10-second regret? It's not random. It's the beginning of a bigger pattern. First you replay what you said. Then you start filtering what you say. Then you start shrinking who you are. And most people don't even realize it's happening. If you recognized yourself in this video, don't ignore it. There are deeper patterns your brain runs. And we're going to break them all.